everyone, my name is Yemi, and I'll be the moderator for this evening. I'm a part of ASA, and I present you with Culture Shock, which is basically our opportunity to learn about our fellow CMU students and different cultures around the world, and also to educate ourselves. And the format for this is going to be an open discussion. So, first of all, I want to say that we all need to have respect for each other because we are all collegiate students. And also, we also need to respect each other's opinions. The more participation that we get, the more interesting this will be, and also the more you learn. And also at this time, I would like to ask you to turn off your cell phone, or at least put them on vibrate. And also, hopefully all of you were handed a sheet of paper. And the sheet of paper is for you to put questions that you want to ask, or questions that maybe you always wanted to know the answer to, but you never wanted to answer, or you never wanted to ask somebody because you felt that they were silly. For an example, maybe like, do Africans live in a hut? So that's all for my introduction. And so we're going to start off with a video called What is Culture Shock?
I think culture shock is when you get into a situation where you settle in a different culture and you don't quite understand how it goes, and you're trying to figure it out, and you realize that there's so many differences from your culture, so you go like, oh my god, there's the other side of the world that's like this. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I arrived here with my mom in May 2001. And then I belong to Spain.
After I graduated from St. Michael's, came back and asked if I might work for the summer with the International Student Program again. I was offered a position for the summer, and that was 33 years ago.
Myself and my family, we came to Montreal, Canada in February of 1996. And from there, part of my family decided to migrate to the United States, Vermont, and that's where we made our permanent home.
Most of the time when I interact with Americans, people tend to say, where do you come from? I said, Africa. Oh, I have a friend in Africa. He's living in Botswana. Do you know him? And it's like, wow, that's interesting. Because Ghana, it's so different from Botswana.
Alright, so that video basically had different people's perceptions of culture shock. But of course, with different people from different places, culture shock means different things to everybody. So I guess we can start off by asking, what is culture shock to you? Okay. Well, I guess my perception of culture shock would be going to someplace different and having to adjust to their culture and realizing that their culture is so much different from mine. Like even me personally, my parents are from Nigeria, and like simple things like having to grab something with your right hand just to show respect, or having to kneel down to an elder as a greeting rather than shaking their hand or saying hello. So that's one aspect of culture shock from my perspective. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share? Don't be shy. Like I said, this is completely all participation. So the more you participate, the more you get out of it. So everybody's shying away. Do you have something to say? I think so. Put you on the spot.
Yeah. I think culture shock is, or my experience with culture shock is more on a social basis where you hang out with people, or just the whole hanging out we do things differently in South Africa when you quote unquote hang out. You don't necessarily have to make it like, from what I've seen, you make it a big deal when you're going to hang out with somebody. But back in South Africa, it's just like, hey, I'm at my house, do you want to come to my house and just chill for a second? And do whatever. That's what we do back in South Africa. Where here, it's more of an event. Like you have to plan something. You have to watch a movie. You have to play video games. You have to do this. You have to do that. Where it's different, or I have a different experience from it.
All right, thank you for that. So, does anybody else have an example of culture shock or just their perception of culture shock that they want to share? Okay. All right. So, who was born and raised here in America? All right. And so, who is from like a different place, or who was born somewhere else? All right. So, does anybody want to share their experiences, their personal experiences of coming to another country? All right. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tip. I was born in Thailand, but I'm not really Thai. I have like 6 different countries mixed myself. I was born in Thailand. When I first came here as a high school student, I figured that there were so many cultures different from Thailand. Basically, the big thing in Thailand is we have to pay respect to people that's older than you. The first thing that I noticed is back home in Thailand, touching people's head is really rude. Especially when somebody is younger than you, you're not supposed to touch somebody. Like if I'm not supposed to be playing with Tracy's head, obviously that's considered really rude. And one thing is I was raised in a Catholic school and we have a really strict rules. And when I talk to the teacher or basically anyone that is older than me, I have to make sure that I am in the lower level. So let's say if the teacher is standing, you're supposed to be sitting down or try to make yourself lower than somehow. And if the teacher is sitting on a desk, that's even worse because we probably have to be sitting on the floor to make sure that we are in the lower position. So when I first came here, I went to high school. When I talked to the professor, they were sitting on the desk. I sat right on the floor. And they were like, okay, you know, are you okay there? Are you sick? You can sit on the chair. And then first I didn't feel so comfortable. I had to tell them that, oh, it's not something that we used to do in Thailand. But now I can sit in the same level as Tracy. And I think that was pretty much a culture shock for me. Thank you guys.
Thank you for sharing. So does anybody else, even if you were born and raised here in America, has anybody gotten a chance to travel to a different country or even maybe just visit somewhere else who was born here? You have. So did you want to talk about your experience? Okay. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
I was born here in Michigan, but I studied abroad in Chile last spring. Yeah, that's a pretty big culture shock. I mean, just going to a different country by itself, and then it's a whole language barrier. And yeah, I study Spanish here, but you go down there and you realize how little of it you actually know, and it's just they do everything different. All the things you take for granted, like going through customs or getting a meal at a restaurant, just the different procedures just throws you out of whack, and there's just that huge sense of uncomfortability because you don't know what to expect anymore. You don't know what to do. It was just pretty intimidating at first.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, everybody. And then next, we're going to have a video which discusses